Welcome to Best of Reddit. Our first story today is titled, Giving Away a Master Sergeant's Golf Clubs. So many years ago I was a logistician in the United States Marine Corps. My unit was headed overseas on a little mini deployment to Morocco. I was in charge of the logistics in my unit even though I was only a corporal. This was because first we didn't have a staff sergeant to run the shop and the sergeants we had were garbage at logistics and got put to work for me. So anyways, we're gearing up to go on this little mini deployment and the master sergeant, who was going to be the highest ranking enlisted, comes over to my office to chat. He starts off being real cool and then eventually asks if he can bring his golf clubs within one of our containers. I thought to myself that it would be wise to be on his good side since I was only a corporal and going on a deployment with his company. So I agreed, even though it was against the rules and regulations. However, everyone does it all the time. So anyways, we go to Morocco and he has his clubs. No course in sight, but he was happy hitting balls, so I didn't care. However, then everything changed. His Marines didn't request to bring enough materials to build what we were there for. They start saying I'm missing a 20-foot container, which doesn't happen to me. So I finally solved the mystery. It turns out they didn't request to bring enough and left the materials behind their office. So here we are in Africa to do a job, but we don't have enough materials. So he tries to use me as a scapegoat. Even a gunnery sergeant and a staff sergeant of his get in on this and just treat me like crap because I refuse to take the fall for their shop screw up. This goes on for the entire 2 months we are there, and we are in the middle of nowhere, so nothing for me to do but deal. Anyways, we start heading home and we head back to civilization to report, and we had to clean our gear to go back to the US as per customs and biosecurity. So we are cleaning everything, even had to take tanks off their tracks and clean the tracks. It was a pain in the ass, but still a cool experience. The problem, however, was that the master sergeant kept needing to reopen containers that had been finished. Now the problem with this was that we had to have actual US customs agents on site and use their banding seals to seal the containers, which then had to be documented with the unique serial number. Every time we had to open one, I had to beg the customs agents to open them and let us get whatever the master sergeant needed, and then close it up without having to redo the cleaning. Normally it is a solid no, but the agents were cool, and we worked it out. Plus every night I usually ran into them at the bars and I would buy them beer. It got to the point where the agents didn't even have any of their own seals left because of how many times we did it. They ended up using mine to reseal. It really made things difficult, and it was often for dumb crap. So finally I had it. It was literally the last day we had for cleaning, and of course the master sergeant wanted something else. So I asked the agents. They were really fed up of it. However, I then asked, do either of you guys golf? One of them said yes. I said then we need 2 containers opened. So we got the dumb crap for the master sergeant, then we went to the other container where I knew the master sergeant's golf clubs were hiding. I opened the container, pulled out the clubs and gave them to the agent. He looked at me and I just said, I don't want to hear crap about opening any more containers. He was cool with it and got it in his car. No issues from there on. Anyways, we get back to the States and the ship pulls in with the gear and we got it home no problem. A week later the master sergeant comes in my office. He's all buddy-buddy again. He then asks where his golf clubs were. I said, my guess is your garage or your closet. He forces a chuckle and goes, ha ha, okay come on dog, where's my clubs? I then said, IDK what you're talking about, Master Sergeant. He then said, my clubs in the container. I then explained to him that per the Department of Transportation Regulation Chapter 3, I even had it down to the subchapter and paragraph letter, that no personal gear can be shipped inside of military cargo containers. He then starts getting mad and I keep repeating the paragraph. He loses it. Grabs me, but my shop's gunnery sergeant got to him quick and pulled him off before he swung on me. He never did find out what I did to his clubs, and I left the unit about 6 months later to go to my next command. On to our next revenge story titled, Sending Trucks to the Wrong State to Screw Over a Staff Sergeant. So back when I was in my first unit we had to ship all of our 7 tons off to get up armored. That meant that over a year or so we shipped them all from South Carolina to Wisconsin. I was in charge of logistics at the time, so I coordinated it all and loaded the trucks. Overall, a pretty easy task. The only challenge was the documentation. Anyways, it was all going well until this new staff sergeant showed up in the motor pool. He was a butthole. Just treated everyone like crap. He made my life miserable when I tried to ship these trucks. Like I didn't want to, it wasn't overly fun. Sometimes it even required me to work on weekends, so I would have been happy just not doing it. However, I had to, HQMC ordered it, so there was no reason for him to be bossy with me. Anyways, so once he took over, shipping these trucks became a pain in the butt because he would want to micromanage because I was a lower rank. So I let him, and he wanted to sign crap. So I made up lines for him to sign. So finally I had it with him. One day I decided since he wanted to sign and be important, I would screw him over. So when my next big shipment, like 4 trucks, came along, I decided that instead of sending them to Wisconsin like they were supposed to go, I would send them somewhere else. I decided 29 Palms, California would be a great location. So I changed some codes on the sheets, gave them to the prick staff sergeant who made more dumb comments and signed blindly. So off we shipped these trucks. Well, a couple weeks later the call comes in that our trucks never arrived. So the command starts getting worried that a few trucks had gone missing. They come to our shop and we just informed them that this staff sergeant had taken charge of all the shipments lately. So they go to him and he proudly said he had taken over, but crumbled when they asked him where the trucks were. It took them a couple of weeks, but finally a call from 29 Palms came into our command that they had these trucks show up but nobody had claimed them. The command lost it. As far as they were concerned, this stupid staff sergeant got involved in crap he didn't need to get involved in and sent 4 big trucks across the country instead of where they needed to be. He got told to leave the logistics to the logistics department and I had the whole thing solved in an hour. Please remember to mash that subscribe button so that you never miss any of our newly uploaded content, and drop a like and comment below if you enjoyed this video.